Oh boy, we're gonna party like it's 2020 all over again. COVID is still a thing. It keeps mutating. Just how science works. When you don't kill a virus initially, it's going to change. It's going to mutate, which means that we're probably going to be dealing with this in perpetuity. Yeehaw! So the approach is going to have to change, or something else will have to change, because when it comes to these sports leagues now, you're seeing all these outbreaks, and yeah, including people that are both vaccinated and unvaccinated, which, different conversation for a different time, but the point being, like, now we're in that spot, just like 2020, where you're talking about potentially capping attendance at games and moving games around. So yeehaw! Week 15 of this 2021 NFL season. You're getting games on Saturday night. You're getting games on doubleheader on Monday night. And a doubleheader on Tuesday night. Yeehaw! Football left, right, and straight up your anus and down your throat for an entire week. Oh boy. So anyways, we'll see how this week plays out. Hard week to honestly pick games, especially if you're doing it ahead of time. There's so many variables, so much uncertainty. Like, I'll make my picks this week, but I really don't care that much. It just kind of is what it is. As far as looking back at week 14, it was an okay week. I was 11-3, picking winners straight up. 7-7 against the spread. Certainly nothing special there. But overall, that's kind of how this year's been. Good, but certainly nothing special. Like I said, so much when it comes to these picks, there's a lot of uncertainty, a lot of variables. I'm recording this on Saturday afternoon. It probably won't be uploaded until sometime Sunday morning. So things could change. Who knows what's going to happen here. The Thursday night matchup was certainly a great one, featuring the Chiefs and the Chargers. The Chiefs were favored by 3, and they ended up winning that game in overtime. And that's exactly the way I thought it was going to go. It was either going to be Chiefs by a field goal or Chargers by a field goal. Obviously, Chiefs won by a little bit more, but figured this was going to be a close matchup. Like, this matchup between the Chiefs and the Chargers over the next decade plus is going to be some type of hellified fun. A real rivalry there between what's going to be two of the quarterbacks that are the standard bearers for this league in the future. So that game has already happened. As far as the Saturday night game that will happen after, or before this video actually drops and uploads on YouTube, you've got the Patriots traveling into Indianapolis to take on the Colts. The Patriots are 2.5-point underdogs here. I understand, obviously, they have a lot of momentum. But, the Colts have kind of figured some things out here, too. I like the Colts at home, minus a 2.5. Now, I will tell you transparently, like, it's gotten to a point with these picks, like, I don't have time to go through and be researching every single team and, like, up to the moment, up to the second COVID protocol status. So I don't know, like, if some of these teams, like, unless they've been talked about a lot due to their games having to be moved or so forth, like if they have one player out due to COVID, 8, 12, I don't fucking know, and I don't care at this point. Just going to have to get along and move it on. The early Sunday afternoon games, you got Carolina traveling to Buffalo to take on the Bills. Boy, the Bills should look at this as a get-right game. They're favored by 12, and they need to beat the brakes off of the Panthers. This should be a 20-plus point victory. They should put the Panthers out of their misery once and for all. The Bills need to respond, and in a big way, and I think they will. Give me Buffalo minus a 12. You've got Arizona traveling to Detroit to take on the Lions. Arizona coming off of the Monday night loss to the Rams. Now they got to go on the road. The Lions got their asses kicked last week by a Broncos team that certainly was focused and ready to play with a lot of emotion due to Demaryius Thomas's passing in the previous week. Cardinals are favored by 13 here, which logically makes sense. They're going on the road, yes, but it's against a one-win team, and the Cardinals are tied for the best record in the NFC. But I like the Lions maybe to do some type of backdoor cover here, because let's face it, when they went on the road a couple weeks ago against the Bears, like, it wasn't exactly a banner performance. It wasn't an impressive performance. Could be more of the same here. You got the Jets traveling to Miami to take on the Dolphins. It's Zach Wilson versus Tua, which should be a whole lot more exciting than it actually is. The Dolphins are 9.5-point favorites. I'll take Miami minus the 9.5. You've got Dallas traveling to New York to take on the Giants. God, what a dumpster fire of an organization that place is. Give me Dallas minus the 11. You got Tennessee traveling to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. I'll take the Titans. I think when I looked, they were like pretty pick 'em here. I don't know quite why, but I'll take Tennessee in this spot. And then you got Houston traveling to Jacksonville to take on the now Urban Meyer-less Jaguars. And Jacksonville opens as 5-point favorites. I realize Houston sucks, but so do the Jags. They are the league's Jag-offs for a reason. Yes, you could point to, hey, Urban Meyer's gone. This team's going to respond in a big way. And they very well might. But they also very well might not. Like, just because you get rid of the cancer source doesn't mean that all the tumors and all the symptoms that go along with that are automatically gone. Trevor Lawrence has sucked donkey dick this year. As easy as it is to blame that just on Urban Meyer, and a lot of the blame goes there, it ain't all the blame. He's been cheeks. That doesn't just fix itself overnight. Maybe you could say, well, maybe they'll actually use James Robinson, and that would be a novel concept. You might as well try it. But as easy as it is to just take the easy answer and say, hey, Jacksonville's going to feel invigorated because, nobody should feel invigorated with this matchup. I'm going to go in the different direction and say Texans -5 or plus the 5 to win. The Texans at least have some certainty. It's not bad for the Jags. But sure, Tony Khan, keep tweeting your shit talk to Fox News. I beat you in the ratings every week. You're not even playing the same game, asshole. Nobody really truly knows who the fuck you are. But sure, you're more impressive than Fox News, who has become the representation of mainstream right-wing bullshit. Come on, give me a fucking break here. Anyway, the late afternoon Sunday matchups. You got the Bengals traveling to Denver to take on the Broncos, assuming Burrow and most of the key players for the Bengals are in. I like the Bengals with the upset plus the 3 here. You got the Falcons traveling to San Francisco to take on the 49ers. The 49ers, big 9.5-point favorites. But if I remember correctly, didn't the Falcons go there? Was that last year or 2 years ago? And they beat the 49ers? That might have been 2 years ago, actually. Yeah, in this spot, I might like the 49ers to win, but I like Atlanta to cover the 9.5. And you've got Green Bay traveling to Baltimore to take on the Ravens, which was going to be kind of the marquee late Sunday afternoon matchup. We'll see whether or not Lamar Jackson ends up ultimately playing or not. Either way, I don't think it matters. I'm taking Green Bay minus the 7 here. The Sunday night matchup, we've got the Saints traveling to Tampa Bay to take on the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers, with the Cardinals loss, now they're thinking, hey, we got a chance here. Win out and see what happens in terms of getting that top seed in the NFC playoffs. And it's not so much about getting home field advantage for them. It's about getting that week off for rest. Bucks are 11.5-point favorites. I like the Bucks to win here, but I like the Saints to backdoor cover the 11.5. Out Monday night, we get a doubleheader. You got the Raiders traveling to Cleveland to take on the Browns. I'll take the Raiders minus the 3.5. Although with having to move games because of players being out, who the fuck knows what's going to happen? But it doesn't matter because this is only the curtain jerker for the main event of Monday night. Bears football, Vikings football. Oh, baby. Vikings travel to Chicago to take on the Bears. A matchup of 2 head coaches that should already be fired, but certainly need to be fired at the end of the season, and that's Mike Zimmer and Matt Nagy. To which if you say, why would you fire Mike Zimmer? He has a 1-5 record against Matt Nagy. End of discussion. The Vikings are favored by 6 in matchup, as they should be. They're only 6-7, yes, but they've actually still got something to play for, and realistically, the Bears don't. The Bears have injuries. They have players on the COVID protocols. So give me Minnesota minus the 6 here, especially when you factor in it's in prime time. And the Bears are terrible. Well, Kirk Cousins is terrible in prime time. Yeah, the cost would be a little bit about the 6-point spread, but we're talking about noontime Nagy and this mediocre-ass Bears team. They're even worse in prime time. But we got a doubleheader of Tuesday night football. You got the Washington football team traveling to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. God only knows what they're even going to throw out there between now and Tuesday, or what they're going to be able to throw out there in terms of who's the quarterback. I think right now they've only got 1 or 2 of their defensive linemen are actually available to go if you're talking about Washington. The Eagles come into this relatively healthy, so this needs to be a spot where the Eagles need to pounce on this team early and put them out of their misery. Give me the Eagles minus the 6.5. And then you got the Rams traveling the Seahawks traveling to Los Angeles to take on the Rams. Another game moved due to COVID impacts, so it's kind of hard to talk about this one. I like the Rams to win, but the 6.5-point spread, when you talk about the number of Rams that are currently in COVID protocols, again, it's hard to say. It's a divisional matchup, so sometimes these stakes can get a little haywire, a little squirrely. I'll take the Seahawks to cover the 6.5 point spread as it stands now. But like I said, I'm not going to put a ton of thought and focus into this week's picks because there's so much uncertainty. Like, who gives a shit at this point? Especially as a Bears fan, this is about the time of year traditionally where I start to give less of a crap because this team's not going to be playing anything meaningful, so why does it matter?